Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stardom Cast, a podcast we talk all things about the fantastic, amazing, and spectacular professional wrestling company that is Stardom. And folks, we do it in a positive and we like to think fun manner. I'm your host for this bonus episode. My name is Matt Turner, and folks, she is back again. One Allison Danger. Allison, I have a lot of questions to ask you on this podcast, but we're going to start with maybe the most important one. That question is, who runs the world?
Well, we all know it's girls. And I think that at this point, I'm just the third member of the Stardom cast.
I think between you and Andy Header, I think you guys are right there. I think the two of you are right there. But yeah, absolutely.
I will beat Andy Header.
There, like, brother, you heard it. He's definitely going to be listening to this episode. So what we'll do is we'll have a match with you and Andy Header for who is going to be the third person on the Stardom cast. So, and I know you because I know your brother. You Carinos, you like to cheat. So, and Andy Header is an upstanding, honest person. So I think you're going to have the advantage there.
Steve says I'm the biggest heel in the family.
Really? Coming from him?
And he tells people when he coaches, he tells people that I'm a bully, that I bullied him all his life and all this stuff. And he talks about how mean, and like, I'll see him with PC, I'll say something to him, but like, see guys, look how mean she is to me. I'm an angel, literal angel.
Yeah, absolutely you are. And this is kind of confusing me because I'm obviously a big ECW fan. And didn't your brother was in a stable with Jack Victory, one of the biggest cheaters and heels in wrestling in the last 40 years? So how are you the biggest heel? I don't know. That may be another topic for another day. Who is the biggest heel in the Carino family?
And it's funny you should say that because the day that we're recording, I believe, is the 25th anniversary of Steve and Jerry Lynn's ECW match with the face paint and blood. Once a year, I text Jerry Lynn. I go, Uncle Jerry, just got to tell you, you made me cry this day. And every year he sends back, I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, you're right. I did see something online. It's the 25th anniversary of Heatwave 2000. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Just a few months after I graduated high school. And yeah, obviously Steve was he was known to do the old gimmick on those pay-per-views. There was always, like, we knew when we got those ECW pay-per-views, first it would go off format. Somehow Don Callis, who was Cyrus back then, he would always find his way into the commentary booth with Joey Styles. Yep. You'd always have an insane main event. RVD would give you a match of the year candidate, and Steve would bleed. Like, you knew 5 or 6 things that were going to happen on those pay-per-views, and you could not wait for it because ECW was just so ahead of their time. Literally, again, here we are 25 years later. And we're still talking about it.
And it's crazy to think because it's 25 years ago. I would be 2 months into my career because I just celebrated 25 years in May. You're graduating high school, and it leads into, and I'm going to post this on Instagram after we record this, the photo from the magazine that I sent you the other day with us from the ROH school.
Actually, I looked at that there was no Matt Turner in said picture.
I wondered about that. Why weren't you in the picture?
I know when CM Punk was running the school that I think he was doing like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I could only make it 1 or 2 days a week because I did not live in Philadelphia. My girlfriend at the time was pregnant with my current daughter. So the whole idea was once I got accepted into the Ring of Honor training school, because CM Punk held tryouts for said school because he only wanted like 5 or 6 people. The whole deal was I was going to move to Philadelphia. And then once I kind of got everything situated, then my girlfriend at the time was pregnant with my daughter. And I was like, I can't, no, I kind of need to go back and forth. I talked about it to Punk. I talked about it with Gabe, and they were both really, really cool with it. And I even told them if I have to go through 2 training classes to get my first Ring of Honor match, he's just like, we'll see how it goes. And he was like, no, he's like, you're picking things up quite a bit. And I was actually trained beforehand. I was wrestling on the indies for about 2 years because I trained at a school 2 miles from my house that basically they just taught you lockups and bumps. It was one of those, nice guy ran the school, was one of those, give me your money, and after a couple months, I'll put you in the ring, kid. So, but anywho, yeah, so that's why I think that was on like a Wednesday or a Thursday, or Wednesday or Friday, because I think I only made it to the Mondays just because it was just I was working 2 jobs at the time and trying to work as much as I possibly can because I had a kid on the way. And as you know, diapers, formula, that stuff gets expensive. It gets expensive.
Or it does.
Yeah, especially when especially when I was paying for my college tuition as well. So
after that wrestling Ring of Honor school, for the longest time, did a pack of playing cards make your blood run cold?
I still do the Gotch Bible every day.
Do you
I
really?
will do. I usually do the Gotch Bible every Thursday because I watch AEW every Wednesday, and AEW gets over at 10 o'clock. I'm usually in bed 9:30 because I'm up at 4 to be at the gym for 4:30. What I like to do is I work out every day, 365 days a year. Maybe I miss 1 or 2 days if something with travel or something like that. But what happens is I try to sleep until like a little bit after 5 on Thursdays because I'm up until 10, maybe a little bit after, depending on how long AEW runs. So that is my yoga / Gotch Bible. But I do the Gotch Bible at least once a week. If me and my wife go on we're on a family vacation, or we go somewhere and she can't find a hotel with a gym, I do the Gotch Bible in the hotel room. So I do the Gotch Bible minimum once a week.
Damn, I might have to pull that out this week at the gym. I might put my kid through it.
Now, again, and folks, we were going to get into the whole topic of this. Again, we are here to plug the all-female show. We will get there. But what I've been doing now, Allison, just to kind of tell you, when we were doing the Gotch Bible at the Ring of Honor dojo, obviously you remember because there was a lot of times Punk was in Japan or he was doing TNA, or I remember one time he got stuck in California because he had flight issues when he was working for PWG. So obviously Allison would come in as our guest trainer. What we did with the Gotch Bible is, because you could break it down in either 2 workouts or 4 workouts. 2 workouts because of the colors, red or black, or 4 workouts because of the suits. You have your spades, your clubs, your hearts, and your diamonds. So we would do reds would be push-ups and blacks would be squats. Or I might have that backwards. Regardless, we did push-ups and squats. What I do is I break it down to 4 suits. So I do mountain climbers, I do sit-ups, I do Iroquois twist, and then I do push-ups. Every now and again, I'll go crazy and go on the squats. But sometimes it's a little bit too much on my lower back. And then my one cat will think that I'm playing. So he would literally be jumping on me in mid squat. So that's what I do. But anywho, Allison Danger. Yes, we always go down the road of one Ring of Honor wrestling school. So it's always a fun. We even went back talking about ECW and your brother just having just needing to bleed at every ECW pay-per-view. And again, I purchased every one of those pay-per-views. And again, like I said 2 minutes ago, you knew it was going to happen. But Allison Danger,
yes,
we are here for one main reason. We're here to talk about this fantastic show that we have coming up on August the 9th in Bedford, Texas. Who runs the world? Which, again, we know the answer is girls. Now, I mean, this show looks to be absolutely loaded. One of the many reasons why we have Allison on for this show is, one, we want to plug it. We want to promote not just wrestling, but obviously women's wrestling as much as we possibly can. 2, nobody better to have than one Allison Danger. And 3, folks, I don't know if you heard this, Allison Danger is back in the booth. She's back in the booth. She's coming back to the booth like Two Booth Willie from those Adam Sandler sketches. Words we can't repeat here. We can't repeat on here, but she's back in the commentary booth with the great Veda Scott. So, Allison, I know as soon as I found out who the commentary team was, literally, I messaged you like 2 seconds later, and you told me it's been quite some time since you've done commentary. Do you know roughly how long it's been since you did the old commentary?
I would say the last time I did commentary was in Brooklyn, New York for Catalyst Wrestling, when I'd go up and I'd help produce there. Occasionally for the women's match, if there was time for my duties backstage, I would pop on a headset and chat it out. So it's probably been 2 to 3 years since I've done commentary.
I'm sure you'll crush it. No, you'll be great. And obviously, Veda Scott, she's been doing commentary everywhere. For New Japan USA, obviously the Stardom shows. I mean, she's she's absolutely crushing it with her level of commentary. So have you ever done commentary with her before?
I have. We've done a couple times at Shimmer when either Dave couldn't step in, Prazak, or Lenny Leonard wasn't there, because he would pop in on commentary. He's such a good commentator.
Lenny's great. Lenny and Dave are 2 guys that they did commentary before this massive boom that we see with all these wrestling companies. I mean, can you imagine if like Dave and Lenny were like hitting their stride now? They would be on NXT or WWE or AEW or MLW or NWA or I mean, there's a whole plethora out there. You know, New Japan, USA. You know, even we know that's, you know, Stardom, Marigold, and Sendai Girls. From what I found out earlier today, they're getting English commentary. So can you imagine? I mean, those. I said Dave Prazak, especially back in the IWA Mid South days, was the best commentator in all of wrestling. And then he got the gig working for Ring of Honor, but then he was a heel commentator. And I thought he was good, but I was just like, I don't know, for some reason I just like babyface Dave like not babyface, but basically him calling the action as if it's a straight man, like a legit sport. So yeah, again, that's really cool. I'm really excited to hear you on commentary, which brings me to my next question. I don't know if you have this answer. You and Veda are on commentary. Do you know how? Obviously, I can't be in Texas for said show. Right. I'm all the way at the halfway across the country in Pennsylvania. Do you know how we can see this show? Is it going to be live stream? Is it going to be like a pay-per-view? Is it going to be YouTube? Do you have any of that information that we can give to our listeners?
So at this time, I don't have any updates on if it's going to be streaming or available on YouTube or whatnot, but that is on my list to work on with Athena. She clearly has had a very busy couple weeks. If you've been watching a little bit of that AEW, she's out there killing people and stealing the show every night. That's my best friend.
I do want to circle back to Athena, but I do want to talk about this first match that we have announced that may or may not be the main event. It is a triple threat match with two of my new favorite wrestlers in all of independent wrestling, Hyan, who had a great match with Azumi about 2 months ago for Prestige Wrestling, and then one Vert Vixen, who I've seen some of her work. I'm a big fan of. And there will be in the ring in a triple threat with TNA World Champion Masha Slamovic. Now, this puts another wrinkle in the game because Masha Slamovic this weekend is on Slammiversary, and she's in a champion versus champion title match against JC Jane from NXT. So there is a very good possibility that Masha Slamovic could be walking into the show as TNA champion and NXT Women's champion. And what a great way to showcase the first Who Runs the World show, Allison.
Right? Like, that's going to be amazing. And I'm a big fan of Masha. I got to work with her a bit at Catalyst in Brooklyn and see her in different places. And I think she's great. I love what she's doing at TNA. I think if anybody's going to go up against JC Jane and pull it, she might be the one that take that title off JC. So.
Yeah, it's been really interesting what they're doing this weekend. And I was actually just thinking about this. It's just about like how you see all these big promotions working with each other. You would always see like some independents here or there, whatnot. But like back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, you never see the NWA working with the WWF, or you never see WCW working with WWE in the 90s, or nothing like that. It just really seems like these last 4 or 5 years, you have obviously TNA working with NXT, which is WWE. We have AEW working with Stardom, AEW working with New Japan, Stardom working with Sendai Girls, Marigold. I was just watching the show from earlier today from Cork and Hall. Marigold working with Marvelous. I mean, it just goes to show you that if you kind of put your guard down and understand like it's a business, and at the end of the day, like let's just make the fans happy, because they will come back, and you kind of take and I understand politics are a part of it, but you kind of take the politics away, and this is what you get. And it's really great to see. Even with the Bloodsport, you have Natty Neidhart just announced she's going to be fighting at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport again, coming up in a couple of weeks, not that far away from me, in East Rutherford weekend. But it's really great to see that, and it's really great to see Masha. She might be the most in-demand wrestler maybe in all of wrestling. You see it every WrestleMania weekend. It's like, how does that girl sleep? And now you're putting her in, again, what may or may not be the main event, depending on what Athena is going to do, because I have some fantasy booking there. But again, she could be walking into the show. The TNA Women's Champion has been a big deal for the last 20 years, ever since Kong and Gail Kim and some great wrestlers. And then you have the NXT Champion, which has been held by Io and Kyrie and Shayna Baszler and Bayley and Mercedes Moné when she was Sasha Banks, and of course Asuka. So you literally can have those two belts on a world-class wrestler, and the other two wrestlers she's in the ring with are two really great up-and-coming wrestlers in Hyan and Vert Vixen. I mean, what a great first match to be like, boom, here's the first match. What's up? And by the way, there could be two world-class belts in this match.
And if you think about it, it's going to be a huge motivator for both Vert and Hyan, because imagine being the one to beat the woman who's got the TNA and NXT titles. What a, like, to me, that's like, somebody better sign that person that beats her.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Allison, I mentioned some fantasy booking, and you made mention your best friend won Athena. So let's kind of get all that. Again, I'm kind of looking at this card that may or may not be the main event. As far as star power goes, Athena, in no disrespect to the other ladies, because they're all great, Athena is the biggest star in said match. It is her promotion. She did say, I don't know if you've seen this, and if I have this wrong, please let me know. I'm paraphrasing, at the All In post media scrum, she did say she purchased MPX because she said the promotion was going to go under, and she wants to kind of basically use this kind of as a project to help more wrestlers out, which is great. So I'm kind of looking at this as if that match we just announced is not the main event. Again, I'm doing some fantasy booking, and I do want to talk about your best friend Athena here. I'm thinking Athena and Maya World may main event said show.
Oh.
And the fact that we don't get the Ring of Honor Championship defended as much as we would like, or as, again, especially when we were a part of Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor was its own thing. Obviously, Ring of Honor is, I watched Supercard of Honor. I thought it was a great show. Mina's a champion there. Obviously, Sherry's coming there again, which I'm going to get to. The main event was great to catch the Bandito, but it's a different Ring of Honor. Still great. You know, it's a different Ring of Honor from when we were there, where you had these belts defended quite a bit. We don't get to see Athena defend that belt as much as we would like. So again, we know there's a good possibility we may have a double champion in that three-way. Why not do Athena versus Maya World for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship? Again, on fantasy booking, I know you may or may not know things. You do not have to break kayfabe. I'm just fantasy booking. I'm a massive fan of Maya World. We had her on the show about a month ago. She's a phenomenal wrestler, a phenomenal talent, very passionate. She had a great, I know I'm saying phenomenal. She had a great match with Hazuki back at the Spark Joshi Ignite Texas show. And for you to keep up with Hazuki and the matter that she did, it's like, how is she not gone to a Tokyo Joshi Pro or Stardom or a Marigold? How come nobody has signed her full time? But regardless, obviously she is on this card. Athena's on this card. If that three-way is not the main event, again, on fantasy booking, maybe I'm getting a little greedy. Athena, Maya World, Ring of Honor Championship. Come on, Allison.
There's nothing wrong with getting greedy. And like, I like the idea because having been a day one ROH person and being one of the original Women of Honor and all that stuff, we never had a belt. My generation never got a belt. My generation, we didn't get long matches either. So
if you got matches, we got matches.
And in the early days, the fans were mad about that. Eventually they warmed up to us, but that is like a sticking point for me, that title does not get defended as often as it deserves. And so if it were to come to her being able to defend that at the show, especially in Maya World, that kid's going to get snatched up any day now. If I had a gajillion dollars, or if a billionaire wanted me to run a women's division, you know, if we have any laying around, like, Maya World would be one of the first people I would pick up, because I think she's got star written all over her. So
she is so good, Allison, and literally, and I don't know if I told you that. I don't think I told you this, but what had happened was, and you know, because you've been on the show a whole bunch now. Hey, you know, we'll go this time. You know, this is the time. Like when we do interviews, we try to go roughly around an hour. Now, if we're on a roll with something, we'll keep going. So before we hit the record button with Maya, I said, hey, you know, we're going to go about an hour. And she's just like, well, can you keep it maybe 45 minutes? Like, sure, no problem. Because as soon as we're done here, I need to drive to go train with Athena. And I was like, oh, great. I said, how long is that drive? She's like, a little over an hour. So I'm like, you are literally going to do this podcast. You're going to leave, and then you're driving to an hour and change in the Texas heat, because it was super hot that day, in the Texas heat, to go train with Athena. And the first thing I thought, like, not only is she a great wrestler and a phenomenal person, I mean, just a great person to talk to, great interview, but the passion, the fact that she is on top of the world and maybe the best independent women's wrestler in the world right now. Again, it's subjective. Yeah. And yet she's still putting the time in to go train. And it just goes to show you that she's going to, and I think I even said that in the interview, like, folks, as soon as we hit the end button, she's in a car and driving an hour and change to train with Athena, you know, one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. So it just goes to show you, as good as she is now, she's only going to get better. And she has a mind and a passion and a love and a heart for the business, which is something that we all just love.
Yep. And if somebody doesn't snatch her up soon, It's going to be their loss. She could make a company a lot of money.
Yeah, and again, there's the world is at everybody's oyster right now. Again between Tokyo Joshi Pro, who they did 2 shows in Texas this week and did over 3,000 tickets. Like that's unbelievable. Stardom's crushing it again. Earlier today, as this recording, Marigold put over 1,000 people in Cork and Hall. Again, you have TNA, NXT, everything going on with WWE because it seems like they have Evolve and Raw, SmackDown, and then the developmental group, WWE ID. Obviously AEW. I mean, there's just so many different revenues, our venues for our avenues, for revenue for wrestlers, which is great, which I absolutely love seeing. The more wrestling, the better. I mean, it's great. I love seeing people make money. And then, everything is so accessible with streaming and YouTube and Sukiban, who does like this basically almost Comic-Con wrestling. They stream their shows on TikTok, which I didn't know that you can do actual full wrestling shows on TikTok. I never heard of any other wrestling company do that. So I think it's just really cool. It's really cool. And you're absolutely right. She's a next level talent. Yep. Now, Allison, again, your good friend Athena, she was very busy this past weekend. In her home state of Texas, she had a phenomenal match with Thunder Rosa for the Ring of Honor World Championship. A great match. And then the very next day, in front of the largest crowd in the United States that AEW has drawn, in a phenomenal, long yet phenomenal show. I was not tired at all. Every match was great. She won the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal and is guaranteed a World Championship match. Now, my main point in that Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal is she had a face-off with one of my favorite wrestlers in all of wrestling today, one Shuri. Now, we did find out the night before during the Ring of Honor broadcast that they did have a vignette that Shuri was coming to the United States, which we knew. She'd said a few weeks ago during Stardom she has some injuries. She's going to heal up, and then she wants to level up overseas, and then she's coming back for Sari's IWGP Championship. So we're going to have a third match eventually with Shuri versus Sari, which I don't know if the world's ready for. But again, another story for another day. But she had a face-off with Athena. And again, AEW audience, I know can be a little different from the Stardom audience. I get it. Not everybody there may or may not know who Shuri was. But Shuri came in, got a nice reaction. She came in, did her Shuri stuff, kicked everybody's ass because that's what Shuri does. And the two of them had a face-off, and they didn't even touch, and the crowd was chanting, "Holy bleep, holy bleep, holy bleep." Allison, obviously, we have tried to get Athena on the show a couple times. I know there's just been some miscommunication. I get it. She's busy and there's certain channels you have to go through. I'm telling you right now, if that match is to happen at a Death Before Dishonor, an anniversary show or somewhere, I'm going to be bugging you every day to try to get Athena on the show to promote that match, because that is a legit and the word dream match does get thrown around a lot, but there are a lot of dream matches that can possibly happen, again, because the forbidden door, for lack of a better term, has pretty much been gone. But what do you think about the potential and the real potential? Because I don't think they would have had that face-up. I don't think they would have wasted pay-per-view time in front of 30,000 people if they weren't going somewhere. Do you think I know I'm crazy. Am I just crazy?
No,
may get this match, Athena versus Shuri, for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship?
For someone who's done booking and stuff, like, I feel like there's got to be some kind of payoff there.
And they did a vignette on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view to say that she's coming. And again, Athena has wiped out this division almost twice over. And now you're putting one of the best wrestlers in all of wrestling in the last 5 years, former Stardom World Champion, won the 2021 5-Star Grand Prix. It's like, duh, it's right there,
Oh, no, I really hope that happens. I low-key hope it happens in a place that I can travel to, so I can be like, hey, girl, let me come see your match. Because that's one I would want to experience live.
I've already thrown out there that now Shuri did mention that she is going for some elbow surgery. I don't know if it's anything major, but again, they put the vignette there on Ring of Honor right before the Athena match. And so it's like, and then they teased it the next day, again, in front of 30,000 people. Again, I'm going to continue fantasy booking. Death Before Dishonor is their next pay-per-view. You know where that show is, Allison Danger?
Where's that?
ECW Arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
what a better place to have that match.
I feel like that's fate. I feel like we got to go, right? If it happens, we got to go.
I will be there, Allison. I know that you are a little bit down south, but again, that is still kind of your old stomping ground. So I'm going to say right here, Allison Danger, if you do show up for said show, cheesesteaks are on your old buddy over here.
Yes, but from where?
You pick. How about that? You anywhere you want to go.
Geno's and Pat's are out. That's not even a thing.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a Geno or Pat's kind of gal. If I want a pizza steak, it would be Tony Luke's right underneath the bridge, right outside of the ECW arena.
Yep.
My favorite cheesesteak place in the city was Jim's on 4th and South. And I believe somebody told me it burnt down or something happened to it. And I don't know if it ever reopened, but that was my favorite. I like to go later in the day when the grill was greasy and dirty, because that's where all the flavor is. You don't want those first few cheesesteaks off the grill. You want it to be people sweating near it all day. Like, you know, food hygiene kind of goes out the window when you eat in Philadelphia. Like, do you remember pulling up at intersections and dudes just selling us soft pretzels and paper bags? We don't know where those pretzels came from. I didn't see no hand sanitizer on him. Did I eat that pretzel up? You best believe I did.
There is a possibility my wife may be going to said show. Because again, you know what? I know who is going to said show, one Andy Header. So maybe you guys can have your match in the ECW arena. And there you go.
We going old school. I'm clubbing knees.
There you go. There you go. We now park in the Target parking lot, which is like 50 yards away from the ECW arena. We feel that's the safest. But
there's a Target near there?
Yeah, it's literally, if you leave the Target parking lot and just walk straight, it's a half a football field away, like 50 yards away. It's right there. Straight shot. Boom.
I remember when the Franklin Mills store was right around the corner. It's been so long since I've been there. Like, I've been to Philly for other stuff, but like, I haven't seen the ECW arena at least 10 years.
I will say this. I will say this, and then we'll get back on. This is what
I swear,
we do.
I have some notes because
this is what we do. I'm going to say this last point about the ECW arena. When we went last year for Philadelphia WrestleMania, Stardom was the ECW arena, and they sold it out twice. They sold it out, and the demand was so high they did standing room tickets only. Then it sold out again. A buddy of mine who has been one of my best friends since I was in first grade, we've gone to the ECW arena a couple times for actual ECW, and then they redid it, and then we wrestled there for Chikara and CZW, you know, Ring of Honor. And I told him, I said, wait till you see how this thing has been redone. Because they redid it 3 or 4 times over. I was like, it's beautiful, which you don't pen beautiful and ECW together. He walked in, he was so disappointed of how beautiful the building is. It is gorgeous inside. It looks completely different. However, they have a full bar there. So he was happy about that. So that kind of 180 did. So he went right back. Allison, again, a lot of talent, other talent has been announced. Nyla Rose, former AEW Women's Champion. Billie Starkz, who is, I believe, only like 18, 19 years old. Yeah. Next level wrestler. Are there any other talents on this show that kind of are being overlooked? Again, we have Athena, Maya World, Masha Slamovic. We mentioned a lot of big names, but are there any other names that you think like, oh no, watch out for that one, or this one could be really one that gets their name out there after said show?
Well, there's a big match that's going to be happening on there for the MPX women's title match. They're bringing in Abadon, who this will be my first interaction with Abadon, and they're bringing up, and if she listens to this and I say her name wrong, because she's told me her name a gajillion times, but I got that Swiss cheese quantum leap brain, she's allowed one chop on me if I say her name wrong. But Reza Clark is going to be her versus Abadon, MPX women's title match. I think that's going to be a barn burner. I think that's one you got to watch, because that's some homegrown Athena talent right there. Clark is Athena's girl. So, she's coming ready to play. And to get a chance to go up against Abadon, who I believe recently left AEW, didn't resign, something like that. But I don't know. I don't believe she's with the company anymore. Correct. But like someone who's been on AEW TV, and, she used to have, and I couldn't watch it, but she had that really trippy entrance. But because of my brain after years of wrestling, I can't handle that stuff anymore. Those little seizure things that pop up for people, aimed at me. But so I would never be able to watch her entrance, but I've seen some of her matches. I think that has the potential to steal the show. I think it's going to put Vert, Masha, and Hyann on blast.
I did not know that match was signed. I only knew of that 3-way. Allison, are there any other matches that you know that are signed or may not be signed, other than Sherry versus Athena? No, I'm just kidding.
I swear to God, if that match were to pop up at this show, I'm going to send you so many selfies from the commentating table, which is like thumbs up, maybe a middle finger, stick my tongue out at you. Like, I honestly, I would FaceTime you. If it's not streaming, I would FaceTime you and be like, hey man, look at this.
And then we can give you all the Sherry notes. We're like, Allison knows everything about Sherry. It's like, yeah, because Matt and Ron knows a few things about Sherry. Sherry's just a phenomenal talent. But again, we hope that match does happen. But again, are there any other talent or any other matches? Or even, again, with your booking brain, look at the rest of that talent that is on that show. Are there any matches that you would put together? Or again, I'm a tag team wrestling guy, or maybe a tag match. Let's just say Athena gives you the book and says, Allison, here are the two matches I have booked. Who else, you book the rest of the card. Who would you kind of fantasy book with this roster?
That's hard to say because I do know a little bit more of the card. So I have to do that delicate dance that I don't give anything away.
Sure.
So I may stay mum's the word on this because I think you guys are in for some good treats. And yeah.
Ooh, and I thought
I think just look at the talent that's already been announced. I mean, I'm excited to see who we throw Nyla up against.
Yeah, that's going to be something because Nyla's a phenomenal in-ring talent. We don't get to see her on AWTV as much as we did the first year or two. I don't think she's you. Again, I understand, TV time is precious, and we were doing all the build up for all the other stuff, but she's just a fantastic wrestler, and her matches with Shida and Riho at the early stages of AEW, really with the women's division, the backbone, in my opinion, were really built around. Now, obviously, Allison, I have noticed that you may or may not be doing more than just commentary during this weekend. Did I see this correctly? That you're doing some coaching, some seminars, teaching the youth about the wrist locks and the headlocks and the lockups?
I'm hoping I get more than 2 youths coming to this. But yes, I will be doing a seminar from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's $60 a head, and you don't have to be on the show to participate. If you are a wrestler in the Texas or surrounding area, reach out to mpxwrestling.com. Let's see. Yeah, go to mpxwrestling.com, making sure I got my notes right. So, you can go through there and sign up for it. And it would be really helpful for those who want to get on the Athena radar for future shows. Because I'm hoping, just like at Shimmer, when me and Prazak sat there and go, man, we got one show. Okay, we're good. We don't need to do any more. We didn't even know if we'd get past one. And now we're celebrating 20 years. The hope is that this could be a regular thing. Athena really, you can never question her passion for wrestling, particularly women's wrestling. And, for someone who's been around 18, 19 years already, she wants to make sure that she's also giving back and making space and building opportunities for other women, especially younger generations, up and coming generations. She wants, like me, to see everybody making some money and getting some shows. So I really hope that this really goes off well. I mean, for what we know, just 2 matches of the card, we already know this is going to be a great show, right? She don't book trash. She's smart. But I'm really hoping this leads to more. And not only will we be having stars, like Masha coming in, like Abadon, like Nyla. Like, I'd love to see growing that homegrown talent, kind of like what we did with Shimmer. We had some names coming in, some, indie names, Natty and Beth being the biggest ones, because we got them right before they both signed. It was one of those, we're like, they're going to get signed. We should probably use them very quickly. It was the same thing with Zoe Stark. That's how she got on the collective. She was a last minute added within like a week or 2 of the show, because Dave goes, yeah, she's not going to be on the indies for long. I'm like, I know. I helped train her. I know. So I'd love to see, MPX giving women those opportunities, because, Shimmer, we haven't ran for a few years. COVID was tough. But on top of that, like, all our talent got signed away. So, but we had a lot of people begin their careers, their early days at Shimmer.
That was my next question. If you think this is going to be a constant thing where she's going to be running shows once a month. So I guess basically, or it's going to be one of those wait and see. We'll see how the first show goes. And and again, going back on what Allison just said, folks, again, if you're listening to this and you're going to be in the area or you want to bet on yourself, and I'm very big on betting on yourself, fly yourself to Texas, do the Allison Danger seminar. Is the seminar in the same building as the event?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in the same venue. You get on the Athena radar. You may get on the Nyla Rose radar, the Billie Starkz radar. You may get on the radar of a lot of talent, and there's a lot of connections there. Again, Athena, not only the forever Ring of Honor champion, she's going to be wrestling. It looks like, and I, obviously could have this wrong and things change because she did win the Battle Royal. She's going to be wrestling Toni Storm. And more than likely, again, fingers crossed, Shuri. So not only are you going to get on the Athena radar, you get on the Ring of Honor radar, the AEW radar, the Stardom radar, the Joshi radar. There's a lot of different ways to go. It's all about connecting. It's all about, you can work really, really hard, but sometimes if you're in the right place at the right time, that helps open up the door for you, or at least gives it a little crack for you then to knock it down. So again, this is a great opportunity. I have done seminars with Allison before. I will say this: 1, you're gonna have a lot of fun. 2, come prepared with questions, and 3, make sure your cardio is as best as humanly possible, because she is going to test you, folks. Again, she's from the NXT Performance Center, where we would hear those horror stories of how great the insane drills are. So again, you're going to learn a lot. And again, I cannot say this enough. If you're in the area, if you're not in the area and you want to get to the next level at pro wrestling, do the seminar, stay around, ask questions, do some communication, do some networking. And again, it's a really great opportunity. It's a great opportunity. Again, going into my conversation I had with Maya just about a month or so ago, she was at that Monster Factory tryout for that Spark show, and she got to be in a ring with Konami and Mayu Iwatani. Again, because she went to the tryout, and that's who they picked. So again, I think Mayu Iwatani, her and Io are the 2 best women's wrestlers, in-ring wrestlers of all time. Not a bad deal, folks. You don't know what will happen. You never know until you try. So again, I cannot say enough. If you're in the area or you just want to, or something to bet on yourself, take the risk. Take the risk, because you could be on the ground floor of something really special. And again, Allison knows about a lot of special things because she helped create Shimmer. And Allison just said, what are the 2 big things that were, that hurt Shimmer? 1, COVID, and 2, a lot of the talent got signed. And then you look back, you take a step back, and it's like, that's a really good problem to have. It's just like, why aren't you running shows anymore? I don't have the talent. Where they go? Well, they all signed. They're all making 6 and 7 figures. Like, oh, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal to say, what? Maybe I played a role in that person's career getting to the biggest stage possible. So again, if anybody's going to know about it, it's going to be 1 Allison Danger.
That's me. So I do have a little insight talking about how we want it to be successful, that if anyone is in the Texas area looking to get tickets, right now there's only 3 front row spots left and 22 second row spots as of this recording. That number may have changed. Hopefully you can get in there, but general admission is still available. So go to mpxwrestling.com, order your tickets, come, be ready. There's going to be a great show. There's going to be merchandise. You're going to have opportunities to meet people that are on TV, up and comers that are going to be on TV one day. So it's going to be a great time. And, it's going to be the best thing happening in Texas in all of August. I don't care what anybody says.
There you go, folks. There you go. Now, Allison, have you been in this building before? Have you performed or seen this building before? Do you know roughly how many people the building holds? A rough estimate.
I'm going to say 300-ish.
Okay. So,
I
mean that, and again, if you
a little bit more than the Berwyn Eagles Club, but if I'm wrong, Athena can't chop me because I'll cry.
But there you go, folks. Again, only a few general admission tickets left, as well as it looks like front row. Maybe by the time this recording hits, will sell out, as well as second row with 2 matches announced. Only 2 matches officially announced. And again, this is the very first show. You're going to want to get on the ground floor of this because this is going to be something special. And let's fill this place. If it's a stream or YouTube, let's watch it. Let's support not just wrestling, but women's wrestling, because women's wrestling right now in a worldwide basis has never been as big, has never been as hot. And this could be your next, your next shimmer. This could be your next big thing that is being created by the American Joshi herself, one of the best wrestlers on the planet, regardless of country and or gender, and one Athena, the forever Ring of Honor champion. But yes, folks, go over to mpxwrestling.com. Get your tickets. I can guarantee you the tickets are a lot cheaper than another show that is happening in the month of August in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I saw those ticket prices. But anywho, folks, yeah. Again, take the family, enjoy yourself. Independent wrestling is great. It's alive. It's well. Women's wrestling as a whole has never been as big as it is now. Again, you have a Ring of Honor talent. You have an AEW talent. You have a TNA talent. You have talent all over the world. Some of the best unsigned talent that, as we just mentioned, Maya World, some of these other wrestlers, they're going to be signed sometime soon. And there's a good possibility that you can say, I met said person at the show. I was in the front row. And then 8 months later, they're in the Royal Rumble, or they're on AEW, or they're crushing it in Japan. Folks, get on the ground floor. This is the very first show. Let's help support this company. I can guarantee you it'll be worth every single cent. Allison Danger, before we wrap this baby up, is there anything else you want to say? Plug, a cartwheel, chops? What would you like?
So coming up soon, there's going to be a new website for me. I'm in the process of having it built where wrestling, like up and coming wrestlers that can't make it to seminars, are going to be able to sign up for online coaching, doing one-on-one coaching or working with tag teams. It's going to be done an hour, and you can buy the hour. You can buy packages to save a little bit of money, and it'll be you and me on a FaceTime, on a Zoom. You get to record the session so you can stay in it and not have to worry about running a ton of notes right away. And we're going to do everything from match study to character development to promos to if you need help with merchandise, if you need to learn how to work for TV. Everything is going to be customized for your particular needs at that point in your career. So I definitely want to get people signing up for that. I've worked with several people already, and one, it's a blast, and two, it gives you a chance to train without having to travel somewhere. If you're in Maine and you can't make it to Texas, you can still hop on a FaceTime with me. So that website will be coming out soon. I'll have all the details sent to you as soon as I get it, so then you can pop it up there. And yeah, let's get this popping.
Absolutely. Let's all get better. Let's all get better. And again, Allison is using, again, so much knowledge that she has from not years, decades and decades of pro wrestling. She has learned from the best wrestlers, the best talent, the best coaches. And again, Allison is doing what I always say, Terry Funk would always say, he's helping the younger generation out, so there for them to be a business. So take advantage of that. Once Allison gets me the information to the website and all the social medias, I will post them all over the Stardom Cast, Talk Joshi, and the Marigold Standard social medias. Once we find out, and if Allison, you'll probably obviously find out before me, how this show coming up here in just a few weeks in Texas is going to be streamed. She'll let me know, and then we will get that out to the masses. So if you can't make it to Texas, but you want to watch the show, like I know I do, and then Rob does, that we will get that out. But Allison Danger, why don't you plug your social medias, tag me in, and we'll wrap this baby up.
So Blue Sky Instagram is the Allison Danger, always with 2 L's. Twitter is just Allison Danger. If you're trying to interact, Twitter, I only go on maybe once or twice a month because it's a dumpster fire. You more will find me active on Instagram. I find, at least I have a very curated algorithm, so it's peaceful when I go on. It's dogs, cats, wrestling, Pedro Pascal. It's perfect for me. So catch me there. I will be posting the flyers for the MPX Women's show, Who Runs the World. That'll be on my socials. I will also send it over to Matt, so Matt can pop it up on his socials. And once I know if we're going to stream it, Matt, will be the first to know.
Absolutely, folks. And again, this show, Who Runs the World, August 9th, and this will be taking place in Hartford, Texas. Oh, I just messed up my graphic here. 510 Hardware Drive, Bedford, Texas. Texas. Tickets are on sale, mpxwrestling.com. Again, Who Runs the World, August 9th in Bedford, Texas, 510 Hardwood Road. And again, we will get the streaming information out as soon as we get it. Folks, questions, comments, suggestions, anything you need from me, Matt Turner OF on the Instagram, the Twitter, and the Blue Sky is the easiest, fastest, and best way to get a hold of me. But if you're trying to stay off social media, I completely understand and want to shoot me an email. The email address simply is thestardomcast stardom22@gmail.com. Folks, that's going to wrap it up for another fun-filled episode of the Stardom Cast. We greatly appreciate Allison Danger once again coming back on the show. We greatly appreciate your support. Can't do without you, because like I always say, it's just not my podcast. It's our podcast. Because we're all together, everybody's different, everybody's special.